I'm Captain Al Lorenzetti. When you're fishing for trophy striped bass, the best bait to have is a live bait. Catching that live bait is sometimes the hard part. The most difficult but efficient way is to use a cast net. Many people own a net, but very few can throw one well. In this video, I'm going to show you how to approach a school of bait and throw that cast net over that school. I'm also going to show you some live well configurations that keep the bait happy all day.
Before we throw the net, let's talk a little about the net. There are two primary factors that determine the catching ability of a net: its overall size and its sinking rate. Large, fast-sinking nets catch best. Proper net size is really determined by the ability of the person throwing it. This can only be determined through experience. Large nets become bulky and heavy and are more difficult to throw. For catching bunker, I recommend beginning with an 8-foot radius net and working up if possible. I throw a 10-foot net, which I find comfortable and it catches well. Net size is always measured as its hanging length or radius. A cast net is circular, therefore a 10-foot net will open to cover a 20-foot circle if thrown properly. Sinking rate of a net is determined by 3 factors: the amount of lead weight, the mesh size, and the diameter of the filament forming the net. A quality net will have sufficient lead weight. It should be at least 1 pound per foot of radius. The filament should be thick enough for toughness and durability, but not so thick that it reduces the sink rate excessively or creates a bulky and therefore difficult net to throw. These 2 factors are determined at the time of manufacture. Producers of quality nets usually have the right combination. The third factor, mesh size, is an option given to the buyer. When buying a net, you must choose a mesh size that's as large as it can be for fast sinking, but not so large that the bait will escape or become gilled in the mesh. Mesh is measured from knot to knot. When stretched, it will form an opening approximately double the length of the mesh. For example, a 3/4 inch mesh will stretch to 1.5 inches. I have found this size mesh to work well for catching bunker. Of course, if you're netting smaller bait fish, a smaller mesh would be appropriate. Cast nets will catch best in water no deeper than their radius. As the water depth increases from that point, the catch will start to decrease. The best place to learn is in your own backyard. Before throwing the net, remove all jewelry and wear snag-free clothing. When preparing to load and throw the net, first form a sliding loop at the end of the hauling line and place it over your wrist. Coil the line neatly, removing any excessive twist. Hold the coiled line with your palm facing up. Grasp the neck of the net on the top of the coils of line and pull until the net lays straight. Make 1 or 2 coils of excess net so that the remaining net will be held at waist level and just touch the ground. Pick up the lead line that lies closest to your other hand and place it gently in your teeth. Reach down and grab the lead line and prepare to throw it over your shoulder, turning in the direction of the throw at the same time, and then reaching under the net to grab the mesh when approximately 1/2 the lead line can be caught and gathered. Slowly let the net slide off your shoulder, gathering it in your hand as it does until you can grasp the falling lead line and lock it with your thumb. At this point, you have the net loaded and ready to throw. Half the battle has been won. This must be perfected before practice throwing can begin. Work on it and try to get comfortable. Remember that approximately 1/2 the net and weight should be in each hand. To throw the net, I point my lead shoulder at the target area. I begin with a reverse twist, swinging the net opposite the direction of the throw. I turn my body and swing my arms, following through in an upward circular fashion, releasing the net from my trailing hand and teeth as soon as tension is felt.